By now, you guys know the amount of mistakes that I've personally made as a beginner when I started training. And for the longest time, I never used to warm up before my workouts. For years, I never warmed up before my workouts. And the crazy thing to me is, despite being told warm-ups are absolutely necessary, I personally never got injured through not warming up. We have a few things that we have to go through in this video, and the answers will be slightly different for each individual depending on specific situations. So make sure you stay until the end of the video. Also at the end of the video, I'm going to share with you the one thing that you absolutely must not do before your workouts, which will significantly increase the chances that you get injured. And unfortunately, a lot of you already do this. So do you need to warm up before you lift weights, before that workout? The answer is actually no. As long as those muscles are warm because you've been active already throughout the day, those muscles are already warmed up, maybe you're hitting your workout later in the afternoon, and you have really good form on your exercises, then it's totally possible to lift weights without warming up and not get injured. And the key to this is those two things, is making sure your muscles are already warm because you've been more active throughout the day, maybe you've even walked to the gym, and then the big factor is your form. Do you have perfect, exquisite form on those exercises? Are you in complete control of the weight, and are you working that target muscle? Just because it's possible to work out without warming up and not get injured, that doesn't mean it's optimal, and that doesn't mean that is what you should do. So let's dive a little deeper before we get to a solution. There are specifically 2 times where you absolutely must warm up before your workout. The first one is if it's in the morning time. If you're going to work out in the morning and you have cold muscles straight out of bed and then you want to go and lift weights, you absolutely have to warm up, because cold muscles under that load is how you're going to get injured. It's absolutely essential that you warm up if you're going to work out in the morning. The second situation where you must warm up before your workout is if you're going to lift heavy weights, especially if you're going to do a barbell bench press or a barbell squat or a deadlift, something really heavy. You should absolutely warm up. And although I have lifted heavy before and not got injured, I have to give general advice, because I know that 99.9% of you guys watching this video, your form will not be as exquisite and as perfect as mine is. And when I did that, my muscles was already warm because I already had an active day, and my form is exquisite. Your form is probably not as good as mine. The great thing about this is it's an easy fix. For example, if you're going to do a barbell bench press, just do one warm-up set. So if you're going for 3 to 4 reps, you're lifting heavy on that barbell bench press. Before you go into those working sets, just do one set of 10 to 12 reps. And this set is not to exhaust yourself, it's not to lift really heavy and challenge yourself and get out of breath. It's simply to just warm the chest up. So if you're going to do that warm-up set, that one set of 10 to 12, just nice and slow. Make sure you squeeze the chest at the top of the movement, and then feel the chest on the way back down, and really just activate and warm the shoulders up and the triceps and the chest. Just warm everything up, then you're ready to go into your working sets. In terms of how I would recommend you warm up, it's all individual. Some of you guys might need some work on your hips. You need to work on your hips before you do squats. Some of you have other mobility issues. You might have tightness in a particular area, and those are the areas you should warm up first. You should warm those areas up and make sure you target those areas in your workout. Some of you may struggle to connect to your back. Maybe you're doing some kind of row or pull-ups and you can't quite feel the back. So if that's the case, then you might do one set of banded rows just so that you can feel and connect to that back before you go into your working sets. So everybody is going to be slightly different, and you need to work on your problem areas. If you have no idea where to start but you want to warm up and be safe, then all I would recommend you do is simply just one set of every exercise before you go into that working set. So for example, if we have the bench press, you do the one set that we spoke about. Then you might move over to barbell bent over rows, do the same. You move over to the squats, you do the same. Every single exercise, especially the compound movements, just do one warm-up set of 10 to 12 reps and really connect and feel that muscle. And if you're struggling to connect and feel to that muscle, warming up is actually going to help you from a hypertrophy standpoint to build more muscle. Because if you can connect to that muscle and feel the target muscle, that is a big factor when it comes to muscle growth and hypertrophy. As I promised you guys earlier in the video, I'm going to share with you actually 2 of the worst things that you can do before a workout. The first one is cardio. Never run before a workout. If you go and run before a workout, you are taking your performance away from lifting weights in the gym. It's a terrible idea. The absolute worst thing that you can do, please never ever ever do this, and that is static stretching. So you might stay and hold a particular stretch, maybe for the hamstrings or any other muscle. You see this all the time. Stretching your muscles before a workout is an absolutely terrible idea. The reason why is because if you stretch, let's say your hamstrings, you're going to stretch those hamstrings out, really stretch them out for 5 minutes. You have now increased your flexibility before you go and lift those weights. So basically you are now able to work through a new range of motion that you normally can't work through. You cannot normally work through that range of motion. You've stretched that muscle out, and now you're going to put that muscle under a lot of heavy weight. That is an absolute recipe for disaster. Putting that stretched muscle that you normally can't get to that position under that amount of weight is going to cause an injury. The video on screen right now, I want you guys to go and click on that video next. I talk about the mind to muscle connection, which is very much related to this video. It should give you a lot more insight to how to connect the mind to the muscle and how important that is for feeling the muscle and making sure you get the most out of your workouts. So go through and click on that video next.